Welcome back, everybody, to Salvy and Quinn, and I have some exciting news
I'm
to
excited
share
to hear
today.
this.
Some big developments in Cumungus's life.
What the fuck is my name again?
I just got Salvy on my mind, bro. What can I say?
It's Salvy's life. I mean, Salvy's friend's life.
Yeah, I'm the co-host of Salvy and Quinn's life. I got a new job.
When was the last time you got a new job? Like
4.5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And I still have the old job, actually. I'm doing both.
Two
now,
job
basically.
boss.
Yeah, old 2JM, as they call me. Do you know what the new job is? Because I did mention it. But
It's the weed store?
It's not a weed store. It's a grow-up.
A grow up.
Yeah.
Dude, that sounds awesome. What is that?
That's just where they grow the weed and then refine it and trim it and everything like that. Like we are growing it all. Well, it's
where is it? Well,
it's
you can tell me later, but
yeah, it's a little bit up and away.
Yeah.
It's some farm basically. So I didn't know anything about it until I showed up at all. Like, you know, it's one of my dad's recent friends. Like, he just met him in the last couple years here. And they were talking, and the friend was like, man, do you know anybody who would, like, want a job, you know, just for the winter kind of thing? And my dad's like, yeah, I can ask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't say yes right away, because I was like, really? A grow up? Like, for real?
I could,
and it's like,
yeah, I'd be
the pay is less than my current job, and it's further than where my current job is.
Yeah, it would be pretty far.
So, like, I was like, I don't know, but I'm like, you know what, I'm not working every day with my current job anyway, so if I do both jobs, then I will be, which is, like, ideal, because, you know, free bread, minus, you know, having to work.
Having to work for it, but
Yeah.
that's just passive income.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually I said yes, and I was like, I don't know anything, like how I have some gardening experience, if that helps, but I don't know what I'm doing at all. He's like, yeah, it's fine, we'll teach you everything. And he's like, and I'm like, should I bring anything? He's like, nah, just dress warm. And so I'm like, okay, so
Dress icy.
like, it's winter, does that mean it's gonna be outdoors? But nah, like, grow-ups are always indoors, right? Like, always. And so I show up, and, you know, he's like, here, I'll show you around, and it's literally like, it's 3 guys and just like a tent. And it's not even a tent, it's just like it doesn't have the walls, whatever you want to call it, like the canvas kind of thing.
That just shield you from the sun kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
and the rain, because it's been raining.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's literally just I am the 3rd employee that they have, plus the owner and the co-owner.
Employee number 00003.
That's your boy, Q Monty Mungus, on the track. And yeah, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'll just, you know, here's the tour, these are the boys, say hi everybody. And it's like, you know, it's one guy my age and another guy who's like 40 or something.
Yeah.
And you know, we're talking a bit, and like all they do, they're like, yeah, we pretty much just do this, and I have another job at the gas station, and other than that, I pretty much just smoke weed and play video games. I'm like, I was sick. And what about you?
No way, the guy working at the garage.
Yeah, and I asked the other guy, I'm like, what about you? He's like, yeah, exactly the same. Like, I was sick. Fucking right on, boys.
They're both, how old are they?
One's my age, the other one's like 40 or something.
Okay. Sweet.
And then, you know, I'm watching them do the work, and so they are like, you know, they go out and collect from the fields, all the plants are growing outdoors, big like farm field, I guess not that big, I don't know exactly. And, you know, they go and collect a bunch of them, and then they bring it together, and then, you know, we bucket all, which is just to, like, strip it off of the stem, basically. And then afterwards, we do all the trimming, which is just making sure that it's actually, like, nice buds or whatever. And then we put it in the bucket for this last co-owner guy to, like, put through this kind of machine. I have no idea what the machine's even called or exactly what it does, but it's, like, it's refining it into, like, proper nuggets, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I'm not the expert here, obviously.
Well, one day though.
One day, perhaps, yeah. So yeah, I'm like, he's like, yeah, watch these guys, and I'll get you a pair of gloves. Hey boys, where are the gloves? And they're like, oh yeah, we don't have any. He's like, oh,
all right.
Well, you can just watch them work for a bit. I'm gonna head to the store and pick up some gloves. I'm like, I bet. And so I do nothing but I just watch them and, like, you know, talk to them, obviously, for like, he doesn't come back for like 40 minutes.
It takes time to go to the store.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere a little bit. So yeah, I'm just literally just hanging out. Eventually I do get gloves though, because one of the guys is like, I might have a pair in my truck, and so he goes and gets them. I'm like, oh sick, the used pair, because they're just like plastic disposable ones or whatever. Like they're not like proper gardening gloves or whatever. So I'm like, sick, somebody's secondhand used pair, but whatever. Like
as long as you don't have holes in them.
They don't have
like,
holes.
Yeah,
they do
okay,
not,
you
yeah.
get that.
And so yeah, I got to work, and then I was already working by the time head honcho was back. And it is like really easy.
Yeah.
Like I was
What's the process?
I told him beforehand, I'm like, yeah, I don't have any experience. He's like, yeah, that's fine. And yeah, like I got there and I was like, oh, that's it? Sick. Like fuck, it's literally brain dead. Like yeah, I just pick up the weed that they're collected from the field out of the bin or whatever. I'm almost exclusively doing the bucking for it, not really the trimming, which is just literally taking it off of the stem. I've got a pair of scissors, which I use most of the time, but you can also just rip it off with your hands. Then I'm...
Dude, we're gonna miss this by, like, nothing.
Damn rip.
Well, whatever. We'll get it next time.
Next time.
I think it should stay in the same place.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
And then I'm just giving it, like, a very quick visual check for any mold and, like, just rotted shit, because it is outdoors and it's late in the season. Like, the boys are behind schedule, which is why they hired me, I guess. Because, like... They're still collecting it out of the field.
3 guys
it's like, yeah, it's all out there, just like starting to slowly kind of go bad, you know. And they're like, oh shit, like we got to get up and going here.
Yeah.
Because this is the second year they've been growing. They got the license in 2018, but didn't start growing until last year, I believe. And this is the first year that they are projected to potentially get profit.
Let's go.
Yes,
That's
sir.
usually how it works with
Yeah.
new business.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
it stink? Like, are you coming home smelling like that ganj?
Yes, but I actually don't notice it as much as I thought I would. But I totally do.
Do you just go nose blind to it? Like,
But
right away?
even when I first walked in, I'm like, oh yeah, I can smell it a bit, but it's not like overwhelming in the slightest. Like I really thought it would be more stinky. But I do notice it for sure, and especially when I get home. Like last night,
All right, I'm seeing a lack of onion.
Yeah, it's gone.
God fucking damn it.
Damn.
Is it, well, I'll go find out.
Like last night I didn't notice it on me really that much until like after I'd showered, I got into bed, and when I sleep, I have my hands almost covering my face. Like they're up high right in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I can like smell it on my hands and
Yeah,
wrists.
that happens to me sometimes. I'll be in school and I'll like touch my face as I'm like looking at a question on like a test. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I gotta go wash my hands. Like,
Well, I did. I showered and washed them, and I was still stanking on my wrists or somewhere like that.
oh, it's like back in the ground. That's
Ugh.
so annoying. Dude.
Yeah.
That was that whole day. That's all I did pretty much.
Damn, R.I.P.
And I missed it by like nothing.
So yeah, that was pretty much day one.
Fumble.
Was just doing that for pretty much the whole day. Yeah. Then I went home a little bit early because I didn't do a full day, because he's like, yeah, you know, you were just getting the ropes, whatever. You know, just do like a half day today, then we'll do full days starting from tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
That's pretty good.
So I go home a little bit early, which I also got there a little bit late because I had a dentist appointment. And then, like, you know, a couple hours after I'm home, he's like, hey, so the machine broke after you left. So we can't get it fixed. So yeah, don't come in tomorrow.
You broke the machine.
Yeah, so you did this. It's like all some elaborate fucking, like, he's trying to sue me over it now. Elaborate ploy. So he's like, yeah, we can't get it fixed until Wednesday, so don't come in tomorrow, come back in Wednesday. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I'll see you Wednesday then. And I come in Wednesday, and it is so windy and rainy, and it's shit.
Oh, yeah.
And we walk out there, and it's freezing, and we're like, oh my fucking
So
God.
sorry, I was gaming when you were talking about this. Are you just in the middle of like a field, or
Pretty much.
you're like near a barn or kind of something?
There's like a trailer.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple trailers. There's 3 trailers.
It's like a trailer park. And
3 trailers, and then just like, yeah, field and nothing else really, and this tent. And we're like,
just vibes. Really.
fuck yeah, literally. And there's also like it's I wish I took a picture of it. I can't anymore because we cleaned it all up and we moved it inside. Spoiler alert. But it was like such a mess too. Like there was shit absolutely everywhere. It was so funny. Like I walked in or not even in. I walked up and was like, oh boy, oh boy. This is gonna be a good job.
What it looked like, it just was.
It's just 2 like tables, you know, folding tables, plastic ones with like the boys working around it, standing around it with the bins. and then the machine next to it, and then just like garbage all over the place, and like tools and everything else, weed, I guess, just like strewn all over the place. That's pretty much how I describe it. And yeah, nothing was really clean or tidy at all. It was very much looked like three boys outdoors in a tent cutting weed.
Making money, dude.
So yeah, they didn't have the machine fixed right away for Wednesday, so we spent most of that day, like at least the morning part of it, moving all of the outdoor stuff into this new trailer that we just got and cleaning out the trailer. I use cleaning pretty lightly because we did mop it, but it was like still dirty for sure.
Okay.
And like wiping some shit down and sanitizing it and then moving the outdoor stuff indoors was most of the morning. So thank God I won't have to be outdoors for much at all, I think, anymore, which is good because it's Salvy. It's Quinter.
It is.
So like day one, like I was like, ooh, I should have dressed warmer for sure.
Because he said dress warm, right?
Yeah. So I had like I had my brown Carhartt on and then like the rain jacket over top of it.
That's good. That's
but
good.
It was not enough for sure. No. Especially because it's just like the plastic gloves too. Like they're not warm at all either. So my fingers were like icy, all iced out from my toe to my finger.
But not in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, then we got everything indoors up and running. And they fixed the machine, and we might even have a second machine up and running by the time I'm back, I guess, which will be cool. And so yeah, the rest of that day was just doing the same thing but indoors. Plus I did some trimming this time, which was like going over the bucked stuff and like just double checking it and making sure that it's all like good stuff, really like inspecting it deeply to make sure there's no mold or anything wrong with it, and like, no random leaves or whatever. Which was less interesting. I prefer just bucking it, honestly. It's easier and faster and whatever else. Less of a hassle, basically.
All right, good.
But it's
same stank.
It's pretty funny because it's not professional at all. Obviously, they're like, yeah, if you ever want a break, just go take 5 if you want to go smoke or whatever. And the boys are smoking, believe me.
Yeah, are they chiefing?
Day one, I actually wasn't sure if they were smoking weed at all. I didn't see it. I did see the whiff.
I smelled it, but I couldn't.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I literally couldn't tell if like anyone was smoking because they just were mostly on like the vapes or whatever, like the e-cigs, and then some real cigarettes as well. But I couldn't really tell from where I was if they were like weed or not. Like I thought maybe they're just tobacco. The next day, however, they were smoking. Like I was made aware of it because I like walked into the office on the break or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, Quinn, I just pulled everyone for a quick toke sesh. You want some?"
Toolbox meeting? I mean, toke box meeting.
Yeah, and it was so funny because it literally was like the little mini business meeting because they were all discussing, we're growing a bunch of different strains and different types to see what works best outdoors in the field.
Hell yeah.
Because they all, some of them are like stickier or stinkier or aren't as resilient to the weather we have around here.
Right.
So it's a lot of experimenting. So they were literally all in there discussing it like businessmen. They're like, "Oh, so this is the Starry Nights. Man, it doesn't smell quite as much as the other ones, but man, it really packs a punch. You can really." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's literally
good against the elements."
Yeah, it's literally the business meeting, and they're like all smoking the weed and like passing it around for treating each other. I'm like, "Oh my god!" It's
all
so
pretending
funny.
as if they're not getting baked as fuck.
Oh yeah, and yeah, so that was like, oh yeah, they're of course they are. Like I don't know why. I wasn't surprised. Obviously, I was like, oh yeah, there we go, there it is. Like I was expecting that.
Oh shit.
And then from there on out, like I constantly noticed them like just on the on their own. They like stop in and like start rolling up some stuff and like start smoking it while they're working.
I need to get I'm about to take part in my first drug deal.
Yeah.
My coworker Steve, he finally finished growing his weed plants.
Ooh,
and he was
congrats.
gonna he said he was
if he needs someone to buck and trim.
Yeah, I legitimately do. Like I told him like, oh, like I'm not gonna be home till 3. He's like, oh, maybe I'll just hide it somewhere near your house and you can geocache it.
That would be so funny.
And I was just like, that's like the drug deal. Like, I'm gonna find that hidden bag of weed like in the park.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
Buried underneath the slide or something.
Yeah. You've been there for how long now?
This was the first week. So
just
I
one week.
only did
Okay.
a couple days because I've just been at the other job for the rest of it. Like today I was at the other job.
Yeah.
Which like I said, I prefer more. Better hours, longer, which is both good and bad, I guess. The other one's only 7 hours instead of 8. Better pay, way closer. Just, it's actually not it's more work, but is it even more work? I would say it's harder work, but it's less work at this current job than it is at the weed job, because that it's a lot of work to be done, but it's all like dog shit easy, basically.
Okay.
So it's kind of mindless, like almost too mindless compared to for like what I'm looking for.
Because you're just doing the same thing over and over, right?
Yeah, like I see why they're all getting high every time they're working, because it's just doing the exact same thing for 7 hours or whatever, plus makes sense. Breaks, and well, I guess the one day we were cleaning out the entire storeroom, so that was totally different, but. That's just what we're doing right now, at least. Once we have everything out of the field, or everything that we can get out of it, we'll start doing different things, I believe. But I don't know exactly what that entails, or for how long I will even have this job. But for now, I have it. I'll be back next week. And
nice. Well, I'm excited to see. I don't know if you'll do it for a long time, but it sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, it's totally,
especially while you're not in school. Like you might as well get a second job.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's good to be working every single day, and it's a fun experience, and it's like I'm learning too. Like it's funny to think about, because I don't know, I know next to nothing about weed.
I'm guessing you are driving there, right?
Oh yeah.
So you can't.
It's like a 30-minute drive out
so you
there.
can't smoke at work. Like it's just not.
Oh, I could.
Will you? Because
no,
that'd be fucking funny.
I haven't. I don't know. Maybe if they're like, you have to try this strain, bro. But I wouldn't be getting baked. It would be one hit, if that. But no, I don't plan on it.
No, I wouldn't recommend it if you're driving like that.
Yeah.
Imagine your shift ends. You're like, okay, well, I still have to hang out for 2 hours.
Well, they do it. They're all driving too, but they're the wake and bake.
Yeah,
they've been on that grind.
No,
I have not been.
I've talked to some friends who have waked and baked before, and they say it's honestly, unless you're gone, if you've got a decent tolerance, you can drive all high. Really, it's not that hard. I've talked about before, I would never drive while high.
No,
just
I
because
wouldn't.
It would stress the fuck out of me, and I already don't drive enough to be super comfortable all the time. By the end of the 2 weeks where I was driving the irrigation van around, I was feeling pretty confident.
Yeah.
But I still just would never
No,
do
well,
that.
It's stupid. It's illegal for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
I it's a terrible idea. But they be doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to coworkers. Who am I to stop them?
Well, anyway, that sounds like a really fun job. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, would recommend, I guess. As a
I'm
temporary
good.
thing.
It would. I could do it. I would. Well, I think it would sound fun. I wouldn't want to do it. Every day of the week type shit.
No, I'm glad I won't be doing it every day of the week.
How often are you doing it?
Well, any day I'm
schedule?
not working my other job, basically.
Which
and not
is
weekends. 3, depends on the week. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 4.
Are you working 5 days a week right now?
I will be now, from here on out.
Until January?
That's the goal, as long as this job keeps up. I don't know. I mean, they have another location even further away, which I wouldn't bother going that far unless he was offering way better pay than he is, because it would be a drive and a half to go to that other location where they have some other stuff set up. But no, it's funny because I was on the fence about it at first, and I was talking to Rudy about it, of course, because he's the one who even brought it to my attention, and he was like, "Yeah, you should definitely."
What did he say about it?
He was all for it. He's like, "Yeah, it would be a really good idea. He's a super nice guy. He's got a big head," is how he described him.
And you're like, what? I love head.
Yeah, that's how he knew. That's how he sold me on it. And when he was like, "Yeah, you can make some good muns, and then you can sell some on the side to make even more muns," And I was like,
I mean, you legitimately could sell some. What's it like? Do they take some home?
I have no idea. I haven't taken any home. And he meant not the product itself, more the buildup, the residue that gets on your gloves. I think is it polyp or something? I don't know what it's called, but
you get to take that home.
It builds up on the gloves, and I haven't been. I don't know if they have been at all. I think everyone's just throwing it in the garbage can. It's not really worth it.
Oh, you could bring it home.
But they were talking about it. They were discussing it. They're like, yeah, depending on certain locations, they'll take the gloves home and freeze them, and then scrape all the stuff off so that they can get that little bit of extra and smoke it or sell it or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, so it is a real thing.
A little bit extra.
Rudy wasn't just making it up. They're people are selling the dust off the gloves.
Man, people from BC will smoke anything.
No, I think they were talking about it in America too. Like, it's just a common thing to do.
Okay.
But I am not really looking to deal or sell drugs. Like, I'll be honest.
Nah, dude.
I don't know the first thing about that.
The new era.
That shit would stress me out. I don't got that dog.
Is it not really? It'd be legal, wouldn't it be?
Don't you have to have a license to?
Oh yeah, I guess you'd be deregulated.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to be selling it directly to someone, and that someone would end up. Well, you're the only person that comes to mind that's like constantly smoking. That I would be like, hey, let me sell you these gloves.
Yeah.
Or the shit off of them.
And you want to suck my
finger? Suck my finger. This is that new Starry Night. And yeah, like every row has a different name, and we were working with some banjo, some Starry, that kazooie, we had it all.
Yeah, I think you could get some more stories out of that for sure.
Oh, for sure. Because it's only been 2 days. Like,
yeah, if that's all from 2 days, like, I don't know. I'm sure you'll be doing different stuff eventually, like another warehouse day.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting high, I decided I'm finally gonna go to the legislature.
Yeah.
Not high though. I'm gonna be locked in because I've never been in there before.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go like, I don't know, maybe like next month, and take the tour, and then I'm gonna get high and go
and go back for round 2.
And literally, I'm gonna do the self-guided tour.
Nice.
I think that'll be really fun. Just walking around there like by myself, going to the House of Commons. So. You're free to come. Bro, Salvy and Quinn in the Capitol,
Can we
dude.
vlog it?
Yeah.
That's probably not allowed.
Probably not. Imagine if you guys hear anything about the Capitol falling in Canada, that was just us. We pulled up.
Yeah.
Look out.
No, it's nice in there. I think I've mentioned before, I went in there one time when my friend from Australia was visiting.
Yeah, no spoilers. I hope there's like a big meeting. I hope they're like discussing like, we gotta shoot the homeless people, and then I pull up and I'm like I open the door, like both doors swing open, just
let me help you.
Steam comes out of the hallway into the House of Commons, and I'm like sorry. Continue.
I thought it was gonna be some grand entrance, like the special effects. They got the smoke machines going, but nah, he's
I'm the smoke machine.
Yeah. Guy like me.
They call me the machine.
They call me SM.
They call me the chain. I'm always chained.
They call me the chain smokers.
Have you ever heard that Katy Perry told a story once where she hung out with Lady Gaga for a night, and all Lady Gaga did was chain smoke joints, like just one after another, like all night?
I did not hear about that. And I believe it.
I'm just thinking it's got to be like she must have been like the lowest percentage, because like you'd be gone if you did that. Just chain smoking like that?
Nah, Gaga's got that tolerance.
Gaga's Gaga for the
Gaga's
for the
going
ganja.
Gaga for that Zaza.
Exactly. Apparently she is. I didn't know she was built like that, but
no, I see it. She's got that twinkle in her eye, or maybe it's just like a little hazy. It's a little clouded over in her eyes.
Also, do you remember? So when Snoop Dogg did the Super Bowl, there was like, some post on Twitter like, oh my God, Snoop Dogg seen taking a toke before his set. And I'm like, yeah. Like, you guys know, like, his brand, right? Like, that's kind of
Have you ever heard of Snoop Dogg?
It's kind of his thing. I don't know. Like, he's probably topping up for like the 8th time that day. I don't know. Like the good Christian,
the good doctor, the good dog,
like the Christian halftime show.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Actually, at one of the last family gatherings, he came up for some reason. He was probably in an ad we were watching or some shit. He always is, but yeah, they were talking. Like, it's always so funny because he's always, no matter what like role he's doing, he's always smoking weed in it. Like in the ad, any cameos in anything, he's got the joint with him, or he's got like the special, like his own changing room, the dressing room designated for like the smoking area for him. Like he's got it set. Yeah. Like I wonder if he ever gets tired of it, because he's like, fuck, everyone just expects me to smoke now. Like I literally can't take a day off. It's just the perma grind.
No days off.
But
The poor guy.
I know, it must be brutal.
Well, I remember he did an ad once and it was like, I'm going smokeless.
I know, I remember that.
Yeah,
and then it just was like
like
the smoker thing.
like a smokeless.
Smokeless grill or whatever.
But everyone's like, no way, worldwide news.
Everyone was like, hold up.
Look at that. That's that. Did you know? There's a treasure up there.
I actually did see it beforehand. It left a stain. Filthy treasure.
We're into the caves that are just like the toy box.
Yeah, I remember us doing this in the 2-player.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had a ton of family gatherings recently. I think I told you about some of them, but did I ever tell you about the McDonald's segment of it?
The McDonald's segment.
Yeah.
Do you guys go to McDonald's?
No. But we were, this was
we robbed one.
Yes. We got high in one.
Hot box.
As a family.
Isn't that I smoking Burger King or whatever?
Yeah, got way too faded in Mickey D's.
Should we?
This was like a while before Thanksgiving. We were talking, the McDonald's just came out with a new burger called the Big Arch. And somehow one of my cousins was like, oh yeah, that looks easy to eat. Like I could probably do that in a minute. And we were like, really? Like, could you? Because she's like, she's slim. Like she's not a big eater at all. And she was like, for some reason, just this Big Arch was speaking to her. You know? That ad came on and she was mesmerized.
Holy shit.
She's like, I could eat that in a minute. And we were like, no way could you eat it in a minute.
Eating
and she was like, yeah, maybe even like, 40 seconds or something? We're like, no, you fucking can't. It's like double, triple patty or something. It's literally just a bigger Big Mac. Like, maybe you could, but like, no, you could not. And then, someone else was like, but I could probably do that, though. And then everyone was like, but I could do that. So then eventually we were like, okay, we're going to have an eating competition to see who can eat it the fastest. And we'll do it sometime, like, the next few times we get together, one of the next times. Like, probably the day before Thanksgiving or something.
Oh, my God.
And so that was like a month or two ago.
The Moss and Maw off.
Yeah, literally. And they were like, yeah, we can film it and like we'll post it somewhere and it'll go viral. The Moss and Maw off. And that was like a while ago. And then, it's getting closer and we had quite a few meetups just because of like family stuff that was going on. And every time it kept coming up. We're like, ooh, the Big Arch. Like, who's going to be the winner?
Who's
participating? Who's the underdog? What are the betting odds?
Who's got the biggest maw?
Yeah, for the maw off.
I would not be betting on you.
No, me neither. But then,
well, actually,
I said that too. And then, like, as we kept getting closer, people were like, ooh, but Quinn might be that dark horse.
Quinn's that sleeping giant.
Yeah, like, he's not been saying much, but I think he might be a real eater. Like, straight up, he might have a chance to
look at him.
Yeah, look at him. He didn't gain that height overnight, you know what I'm saying?
Is that what the analysts were saying, the pundits?
Yeah.
I think this Mawson kid's got a lot in him. I think he should really show us some things on the arches.
And I was like talking about it, like I don't know. I was talking to one of my messaging a friend, and then she was like, "Oh, you gotta like, I have the tech for you. You can like split it in half." And I'm like, I don't know how that would help, but she's like, "Yeah, because then you get like smaller bites, but you can do them faster." So I was like, okay. So then I had this tech that I was gonna try out to like, because I don't think I was gonna win it legit. So this tech.
How many are there and who's in the running? Like, give me the lowdown on each.
Originally it was like a bunch of people. So it was me, all three of my cousins. So Peyton, Griffin, Maddie.
Okay.
Maddie's the one who initiated it, who said she could do a minute, and then dropped that down to 40 seconds. But she's also like, usually like really really careful about what she eats. Like she's very conscious, like tracking the calories, always trying to eat vegan.
Apple Watch.
Which was shocking that she was the one that suggested this.
They got to her.
The ads literally had her mesmerized. They're magically delicious. Little cousin Griff.
They got you too, bro.
Baby. I think he had a very good chance. Peyton, she could eat. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
that being said.
Like
she could eat.
She's a Mawson, bro.
Yeah.
Like
we all can.
Yeah. Who else was in it? Like couple, aunt and uncle, were they in it? I think both Rudy and his brother were in it at first, and then they were like, maybe not. Messiah was in though.
Yeah.
And then we were gonna have like one of our second cousins who like that was kind of a last.
I would say your top two.
And
I would
Maddie's
say your
boyfriend.
top two.
And Maddie's boyfriend.
Ooh, this boyfriend sounds like he could eat.
He could eat. He
sounds fat.
No, he's well built actually. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he's not fat. He's a nice guy.
And he's in shape.
Oh fuck! All right, it's over for you then.
Yeah.
You don't get in nice shape.
I didn't think I never really thought I could win until we were finally getting closer and closer to it. You know. And then they're like, okay, next week, day before Thanksgiving, we're gonna meet up and do it. And you know,
like get ready for Thanksgiving.
Up until that day, I like wasn't really feeling it. Day of, I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm in the mood. I'm gonna devour that big arch. 40 seconds or less.
It's over.
And I will win the competition, and I will win the grand prize.
Damn, you're really going for it.
Of like $20 or something for the winner. And then I get there, and the boyfriend isn't there.
Oh, let's go, big.
The cousin isn't there.
Let's go. It's all turned up, Quinn.
Maybe someone else wasn't there. I can't remember. And so I get there, and we were talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, the big arch or whatever. And then everyone's like, and then the person who proposed it, my one cousin Maddie, she's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it today. And we're like, dude. Like, you came up with it. She's like, any other day, I would do it, but today, there's just something about it, you know? I just can't do it today. And we're like, okay, fine. Who else? And then, you know, someone else, you know, my uncle would be like, yeah, I thought about it. I don't really want to do it either. And I'm like, dude, like,
Do you just go and get a Big Mac?
No, so then at this point, more and more people they're all like, oh, well, if two people aren't even here, then those other two people aren't doing it. There's not really any point, because it's just going to be like 3 or 4 of us. And we want everyone to do it. So they're like, all right, I'm out. And then everyone was out, except for like me.
So you won by default?
And one other person. I'm like, well, okay, well, I literally just don't want to do it by myself or with one other person. Like, I'm not going to fucking make myself sick by yomping down the big arch in 40 seconds if I'm the only one doing it. Like, we do it as a family, we throw up as a family.
Yeah, exactly.
The day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, as if you're not going to be eating a bunch already.
Yeah, so then it didn't end up happening. I was super annoyed by it because I was so ready for it. Like I said, like I was so feeling it. And then everyone else is like, nah, we'll do it later. Hopefully it happens.
You didn't even want to do like a warm-up round? Like,
hopefully we'll do it eventually. No, I didn't want to warm up because it's kind of cheap.
Wait, you didn't even do it?
No.
Oh my God,
well, I'm not going to be the only one to do it. Like, why would I? And so they're like, yeah, maybe like the next family dinner.
It's such a blue ball, dude.
I know.
I was so ready for this story to conclude. I was like, we're over 5 minutes, and I was like, it's fine. This story's gonna be crazy.
So then we're like, well, what should we do for dinner? And then someone's like, A&W? And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean A&W? And then everyone's like, yeah, that sounds really good right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, yeah, it does. Like, I'll eat A&W. But if you're getting a burger, just make it be the fucking big arch.
All right, he brought it back, Cruz.
But they're like, nah, we don't want to do the big. Let's just do A&W. So then we had fucking burgers for dinner.
He's too hot. He's taking his coat off.
I'm literally taking the coat off. I'm skipping.
Literally got too heated.
The necklace is coming off. It's too hot in here, dog.
They got to take up the Quinn.
I put it on my brother Salvy. He's taking over the Quinn post. He's inheriting it. It's my greatest fortune.
It's heavy. It's very heavy.
So yeah, then I just had a regular fucking. I had that BLT chubby chicken burger with.
You actually went and got. That's crazy.
I know. Dude. I was eating it. I'm like, it's really good. I haven't had A&W in a long time, and it's good eats. And but fuck you guys. Like, I was so ready to do this shit, and I was like the only one who wanted to do it in the end. Like, oh my god.
That's the kind of thing I could see you flaking out on.
Exactly.
Like if we were at Pres Night and it was like, oh, guys, we all gotta get the fucking.
Oh no, I would do
the Little Caesars deep dish.
I would do it at Pres Night.
Yeah.
I would do it at Pres Night.
Yeah.
But like, I was totally to begin with. I was like, I'm probably not even gonna win. Like, maybe I won't even bother. Like, I'll still try, but I might just eat it normally instead of trying to do it fast. You know, just so I get to experience it.
I'm thinking I could do it 90 seconds.
Well, do you want a 1v1?
Not really.
Because I got, oh shit, I leaked my tech. Okay, don't steal that. Do not steal that.
I won't steal it. I'll eat it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Okay, what's up? Goodbye.